Morning, brother.
Come on.
Come on.
Here we go. Morning, man. Good morning. Good morning. Give me one
What's up,
second.
brother?
Got the live going on. I'm trying to switch devices right now. Give me one sec.
Okay.
Let's see.
Recording in progress.
Give D a chance to get on too, right?
Mm-hmm. Talk to him.
Nah, I ain't talked to him. About to head outside because we got some warm weather again.
What's the temperature out there?
It was like 92 when I got in the car earlier today.
90s? Y'all hit the 90s?
Yeah, the last couple of days, man. But it's supposed to be 60 something
Welcome to the
tomorrow, which is
summer.
crazy. 90s, but 90s over here is brutal with that
Yeah, it's
humidity.
humid. Yeah.
Hang on one second. My bad. I'm sitting there talking and realized I was muted.
Good. You
Yeah,
outside?
let me turn you up a little bit.
How I sound?
Let me see. Phone speaker. Boom. You sound good. I didn't have the speaker set up on my
Oh yeah,
joint.
I can hear you in the speaker now. Can you hear me in
Yeah.
my speaker? All right.
Yeah, I got you good. See what your lapel mic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, make sure it's on. I was in a Zoom meeting yesterday and
Yeah.
she couldn't hear me. I was like, what's going on? I didn't have my mic, but I'm just saying like these settings, I don't know like what computer's doing or what Zoom's doing. So
Yeah,
I
it's
always got to
weird.
check and say, can you hear me or whatever.
It's weird because the screen's not showing both of us at the same time. It's just
Yeah.
showing whoever's talking, which is
Yeah,
crazy. We never had it set like that before.
yeah, like if I feel like it changed settings in your while we sleep, but you can do that. Go to up with those nine boxes like a telephone
Yep,
and
yep.
click that, and you can pitch which
That's because I
camera you're on.
could. I'm on my phone right now though.
Okay,
Let's see if I can get it. Nah, I can't get it like that.
you can go multi-speaker or you can go gallery.
Yeah, from the laptop I can do it. Can't do it from the phone though. Not that I know of. Let
So
me actually know what. Hang on. Let me do it
go
like
to
this.
dynamic gallery. Dynamic gallery is cool. You see that setting?
On the phone?
I don't know. I'm
That's
on
what I'm
my
saying.
laptop.
I can't get it on the phone. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay, but
But
dynamic gallery is cool.
yeah, but I've never had to do this before. I just noticed when I'm looking at the live. That's why I like we go live because it's technical difficulties. It's crazy.
So we live now, right?
Yeah, we've been live since minute
Yeah,
one.
so I thought so I could crop out stuff if need be, but you know.
Keep backgrounds and effects. Let's go here. Backgrounds, appearance, avatars. This is crazy.
What's up,
Uh,
fellas? How
Peace.
you guys
crazy.
doing, man? Where the king? Where I'm at? What's
Dr.
good?
Dr. Double Black.
Yeah, that's my name. What's up? Where the kids at that need help?
Man, where in the world? What's
Tell
up,
them to go
D?
to the platform. Check me out. Let me
He's
block
on.
this light.
Let's
What's
see. I'm about to go back to the lap
up,
tizzle.
Troy? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, D?
I'm ready. Nothing, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm way up, man. Woo! I'm way
Sound
up
like it.
there. My frequency real high right now. Just,
Good to
just
hear.
talking to the
Thanks
right
for helping.
person. I mean, huh?
Thanks for helping. Thanks for helping me with my granddaughter. Yeah,
Elite.
yeah. She's gonna be going to
She
Great
gonna be
Hearts.
elite.
Yeah, she's gonna be going to Great Hearts Christian school starting in the spring. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I know you are, man. I'm glad I could, provide some guidance for the family. And
Mhm. Yeah, we just letting
what
Christian
Mr.
go.
Lockhart doing? What you working on, Kristen? What you got going on? Tech
Bruh,
wise.
I'm just trying to get the screen to show up right.
Okay.
Hang on. It wasn't showing like I wanted to on the live joint. Troy gonna have to get down later
What
on and
happened?
edit. Said Troy, you got to get down and edit this thing later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do no editing.
Ah, there
The
we
most
go.
I'll
There we
do
go.
is I'll
There we
go to the
go.
front and I'll trim what we just talking about nothing, and that's that. We all got a lot going on.
You do
Editing
so
ain't
at
my
least you
game.
doing trimming.
Yeah.
Should be good in a second. We should be good in a second.
Seeing you twice, Christian.
I know.
All right.
I know. I'm waiting for the joint to come up right. Full screen. Boom.
What's up, coach? What you coaching? Who you coaching right now, Troy? Who you coaching?
Coaching everybody. Coaching my family, coaching my
Mm-hmm.
disciples, coaching myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I
Block
might have
this light.
once we get popped, I got a question for y'all. It's gonna make y'all think.
Let's get it.
It should be good every minute. I'm sitting here watching the replay, the live, because I got the live record on delay. So I'm sitting there watching it, waiting for it to catch up to a spot where we're all on the monitor at the same time. Ain't do it yet
So in
though.
the
So,
meantime, man,
that's wild right here.
let's
It's wild.
get the discussion started. Can we? Are you want us to not have a discussion right now, Mr. Lockhart?
Rock out, man. Rock out.
Or we could pause, man. Or you were doing some technical.
Nah, we good. You muted now, D, all of a sudden.
You're muted, Derek.
Thanks, Troy. Thank you.
It's all good.
You're a fine man there, man. Thanks. So I had an interesting week because this week we uh in my home I was working with my daughter to my 15-year-old to find what high school she wants to go to for next year. And each child is has their own individual things that they like. My daughter, her passions are in the arts, but also athletically in volleyball.
Oh wow,
And
that's a
each
nice
year,
combo.
yeah. And each year it goes back and forth between what she's more passionate about. But I think right now, um, it's more volleyball oriented. So we're just evaluating best platforms for her to continue building skill. So we're probably going to go to IMG Academy this summer, just to learn what it takes to be a student athlete. We'll go through a program there. Unfortunately, it is a quite expensive program,
Hmm.
but it is worth it. I think every penny of it for this particular situation. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. We also looked at some interesting theater camps. Impulse at the University of Michigan, one that really stood out to me the most. But I will probably do that one next summer when she bridges to 12th grade. So
Okay.
yeah, we just
Okay.
spent some time on that. It's just interesting when you sit down with your children and you find out like really what they're thinking of themselves and their future, right? Not what you're projecting onto them, but really what
Hmm.
they feel inside and things like that. And then
Hmm.
as a parent, um, you just want to make sure they have the platform to do whatever they want to do. That they can do that well and that you support it. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm
So
sure
that's
the
good.
Bible has something to say about that, Troy. When it comes to giving your kids the platform to be successful and
Hmm.
supporting them. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. This week, I spent a lot of time with my daughter, just kind of planning out summer and the next 2 years of high school, really going through the curriculum. If you want to get into micro stuff, just going through the curriculum and what classes and why those classes, and
Okay.
what's the game plan for college, and how these schools are almost like feeder schools or certain ones, and just really kind of pinpointing what's the best fit for her. Um, so we have fun. It was a nice session. Sometimes those sessions for parents can be intense,
Yeah.
especially if you and your kids aren't aligned or there's not clear boundaries defined in your home.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
I'm sure.
So
How tall is your daughter? She's a tall volleyball
she's
player, or she's
pushing.
a?
She's 5'11".
Oh wow, really? I didn't know she was that tall.
Yeah,
She get on the
yeah.
volleyball
She
court,
might
man. Why
she
she
might
ain't on
hit
the
a
basketball
spot.
court?
Oh,
How you
time
getting
out.
hot
Whoa, whoa,
volleyball
whoa,
court?
whoa. Slow down. Time out, Troy. I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. You know, volleyball's my game too now. Basketball and
Oh,
volleyball,
you
they go hand in
for
hand.
real? Did you hold
I
up? You
played
played
that.
volleyball in high
I
school?
was 4 years. 4 years. You know that. That's in my
I
family, yo.
remember now. I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh,
I
well,
had,
you
I had,
never
Troy was
coached
gonna say why you
volleyball?
got on the volleyball court. I had to stop you, Troy. I had to stop you.
Hold up. I'm about
Oh
to
man,
fly you in. Yo, you coach? You coach
5'11".
volleyball? Kristen, you coach volleyball?
I've trained volleyball players, but my goddaughter, she coaches down in Texas.
Christian, tell him
Where
what
at
you do.
Texas? I'll fly my
Christian, tell him
daughter
what you
over to
do
work with
train.
her.
What don't
Tell
I
him.
train?
No, I'll fly
Shoot.
my daughter over there to train with her for a week or something.
Let me know. I'll reach out. Kate
She
McDaniel
did
down
what
in
where
Texas.
she went to school at? She played college ball too?
Yeah, she played at University of South Carolina Bull, but only time I liked him was when she was there. You know what I
Oh
mean?
Lord. Oh, she D1, D1. Oh Lord.
And then she transferred to Winthrop after that. Her sister actually graduated high school this year down in South Carolina. She's coming up to Pennsylvania to Arcadia, and she'll be playing volleyball for them.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah,
I like Arcadia. That's nice.
yeah, man. So that's
Oh,
gonna be
okay.
dope.
So yeah, I just want to send her to an intense program, like some one-on-one. So she has some daily she just needs to know the daily life of an athlete. That's why I chose IMG, right? Just so she can learn what that's all about. Um, but yeah, so are they running any programs currently? Either one of them?
Cool.
Your nieces or your cousins, the two of them. The one in
Oh my God.
Texas, the one that's coming up to PA.
Yeah. This is my goddaughter down in Texas. She coaches a club down there with a club down in Texas. club
That's
program.
interesting. I was speaking with some people that Texas A&M right now. They're supposed to be the best right now or something. I think they're
The best what?
I, at volleyball program. I don't know. But what's that? You like nah? Who
So
you got?
you gotta do some
Clemson? Who
home. You
you
gotta do some
got?
homework. Nah,
Clemson?
you gotta do some homework. You gotta do some
No,
homework,
I
dude.
didn't look. I didn't. I just heard that, and I was just at. But I see your facial expressions. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have no
top
idea.
programs for a minute now. Nebraska been up there for a long time now. The Midwest schools is locking it down. Be honest, which is
No,
crazy to me.
they go hard, man. I go into the gym with my daughter. There's like 1,000 teenagers playing volleyball
Great game.
on at it. They got big courts, huge courts, all day long, 12-hour event. They just go
Hmm.
in.
All the
Yeah,
sports is
it's
nutty, man.
yeah, that's good. I mean, it's a good way to support our kids too. But it does from a parent point, you have to invest heavy. It is a huge investment. Time commitment
It's up there.
financially and everything else. Yeah.
Troy, remember when we was doing it? How much was a weekend getaway for a parent to come? Matter of fact, let's talk about it. Back in the day, parents didn't
Mm-hmm.
come out to the tournaments like that with us, right? We would
Nah, it
travel.
costs too
Now,
much. Costs too
well,
much.
nah. Think about it. I mean, think about it now. You figure back then you can get a hotel for $125 for the weekend, probably. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then or 200, and then to get into a weekend pass was $25, $30. Now, weekend passes at 90 per person, right? No
Are
matter,
you serious?
it's like $90 per person, right? I was just watching something today. Dude said it's a $2,000 weekend. $2,000 weekend to travel now, because now more than ever these parents is traveling with the kids. Back then they weren't even traveling with the kids. Now they're traveling. They're
Now
going
they
everywhere with the
travel
kids. They go to that. They paying a
everywhere.
thousand dollars for the weekend, man. You talking for a family of four, to go watch the other one play. The family of five to watch four of them go watch one play. That's 360 to get in for the weekend, plus the
Yep.
hotels, plus the travel, plus the food. Plus, you got to keep everybody else entertained because.
Hold on.
And then watch
Right,
this. You're
right.
not going. And the crazy part is this: I'm not coming in there to see every kid play. I'm going to watch two games maybe that day at most as a parent. My kid plays twice. That's where I'm going, which is crazy to me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I didn't
Well,
know the
it's
price.
not
That's crazy.
because
It's crazy, Troy.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's almost like, okay, so what you going to do in between those games, right? So, because my daughter, she has a volleyball tournament at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so imagine that little 3 day. I mean, we looking at about 5,000 to be
Mm-hmm.
very comfortable. You know what I mean? 2,500 if you just cutting corners. You know what I mean? That's a lot. For a family of four, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
To
And
cut
then you
corners.
got you know you got family members that want to come. The tickets to get in. They like, oh, I got to pay $50 a day, and it's a 3 day event. You like, okay, wow, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, you just
Wow,
gotta.
man.
But that's what I mean. Like, so from a parent perspective, when your kid isn't passionate about something, it's hard to invest, right? So if you're investing those kind of dollars as a parent, your kid has to have some kind of passion or interest, right? Like really passionate about it for you to invest. My challenge to parents, or my issue with parents, is when I say I have them in a class, right? And I'm speaking to them about, that they need to work with a college admissions consultant, or they need to really put more effort into what that looks like and what's required each grade year, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? So they're prepared to go off to college, especially if they're at a public high school, right? The parents aren't interested in spending no money on academics.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the public school parents. Your private school parents, they all day. What you got academically for my kid, they're always looking for the edge. But with the public school parents, what I found, and it's not across the board, is they don't want to pay for SAT prep. They don't want to, they definitely ain't paying for SAT prep. They'll look at every out for their kid. Oh, all schools don't require that, right? Or I don't want them to take the SATs. It ain't for black people, or whatever, but they're not going to invest any money in that. They're going to say, hey, you can get the book and you can study, right? They're not, but that carries on when it comes time for that kid to go to medical school, right? So now they're going to say, oh, you could just get the MCAT book and study on your own instead of getting in a cohort or something to go learn and study and parents paying for it. So it's just about how you're going to allocate your budget. Are you going to allocate your budget to go watch your kid who's never going D1, who's never going to the pros, and you want to go
You
watch
can't
them
even
play
take
basketball?
it a step
Hmm?
further. They may not go D2 or D3 for the most part.
They not go.
Most of them aren't going to
They,
go at
I,
all.
Most of them aren't going to go at all. And then what happens is they'll go anywhere where somebody says they want them, right? So they'll go to a school, but the school got a 70% dropout rate,
Or
right? You
unaccredited,
know
right?
what I mean? Like kids ain't graduating, like that ain't the right environment, so
I got to ask you a
parents,
question,
another
Derek.
challenge.
I got to ask you a question about this
Go right ahead.
education world
Go
because,
ahead.
you know, the job types are changing drastically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see that junior to mid tier being phased out. The tasks of those folks being phased out. For somebody who can let AI who can manage the AI component. Let's say it that way, right? And I actually read an article the other day about how it's more leaning now towards middle-aged folks like us, right, and up, who are now being retained because of their experiences, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that experience is an important thing that AI does not have, right? The nuance of experience AI doesn't have. So, which is interesting because I got displaced just because, when I turned 50, all of a sudden I see more people were getting displaced. But now I'm reading an article on they're now going to keep those people around because they're going to get rid of the layer below them more so.
Mm-hmm.
So from an education standpoint, we're seeing the type of education that's needed change. I just want to get your take on that, being in that education world, what you're noticing, what you're seeing, what trending, and how you're guiding people through this whole school thing because it's changed.
The problem, okay. So I'll tell you what I think. I think that it's all about the curriculum that the school is using to prepare the kids, right? So some schools are innovative and they embrace innovative education. Other schools just like doing it the way they've been doing it because it's a business and they know it's going to produce money. If you if you go into a tremendous amount of high schools throughout the United States, the teachers are not amazing, right? They're not all that good, all of them, right? They're not passionate. They took a job. They ain't real passionate, or they just gave up. I got teachers that have been through my program that are like, adults now, right? When I met them when they were 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, they went to college, got jobs as teachers, and I have conversations with them. And these teachers really are doing a disservice. Some of them, if it only takes one, it's like one bad cop could ruin it for all the cops. One bad teacher, that's child abuse to me, right? You can't be a bad teacher. You can't accept that individually. You got to be individually responsible as a human being, knowing that you have children under your influence. So you can't really be bad. You got to go in, but they're not doing that. So that bothers me, right? So in an environment like that, how are you going to invent innovative education when it has to be at the head of the school, right? They got to embrace it. So there's colleges like Baker College and Dr. Jones, Nakia Jones. She's building out a whole AI platform for her college, right, to prepare for this curriculum and things like that, right? But there's other specialists and experts, subject matter experts on those curriculums. But the challenge is the school has to purchase the curriculum. The school has to work in that curriculum. The school has to embrace innovative education. And quite frankly, it's a state by state thing. Maybe, yeah, definitely state by state, right? Because like states like Minnesota, they embrace innovative education. They encourage it, want kids to They want to educate their whole, what they say, they want 75% of the population with college degrees by the age of 25. Like they want the whole state educated, right? So just having that mindset, that's innovative, right? Other states ain't doing that. They just worried about their district budget and how do you keep the schools functioning as status quo. So it's going to be a challenge. But as far as what jobs and things like that, listen, Coursera, the platform Coursera, they have a tremendous amount. You can be the number one AI expert for free if you just take the time out and take the classes on Coursera's platform, right? Now, just knowing that piece, that knowledge, you want to know how hard it is to get a kid or a parent who's under their control or a school district to say, hey, your curriculum's outdated. Why don't we just implement some Coursera into your curriculum? Right? You know how long that's going to take? Because they're like, well, what about my teachers? And what about this? I care about the kids and their development and them being prepared for the world. That's their focus is on their budget. Their focus is on different things. So that's a challenge. You know, it's the same thing when the digital world took over newspapers. You know how hard it was for the newspaper staff to be like, we're going digital. You know, they people don't embrace innovation. It takes time, right? So the people that are on top of it are going to make the most money because they're embracing it. They're going to be prepared for those jobs. But I just think it's going to be a period that we phase out the people that didn't embrace the technology. They're going to, you know, at some point might lose their jobs, right? But you're also in America, right? So there's certain groups in America that get favored for jobs. They don't need talent, right? So those groups, they're still going to be okay because everyone knows that these jobs that you work in corporate, they ain't really rocket scientists running these positions and these they not the best of the world.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not at all, right?
Yeah.
To favor, a lot of them have to work really hard, a lot of years of abuse to get there, and then they're all beat up and damaged because they got stabbed all the way to where they got to, right? So it's this challenging.
Or the other
Innovation is
side of it
hard.
is, or the other side of it is, they were considered top 10 early, and so they got brushed on through to the top. You know what I mean?
Well, the only way I found that you can leverage the playing field in corporate America, one, I've already seen everybody I know outwork the whole company, right? So I've been in those trenches where you look left, you see the black person over there, they outwork everybody. They come in 10 hours early, leave 10 hours late, right? And then when they do that, they be like, well, you must can't do your job. Why you got to do all that extra work, right? It's this, and then
And then the
somebody
flip
else over
side,
here, it's just crazy. I
yeah,
don't know why like anybody would even go that direction in the future, right? Why would you even set yourself up for a job working for someone else? There's just so much out here for you to develop, especially if you're willing to embrace innovation. If you're willing to embrace innovation, you can build your own company, or you can just dig into Troy's point what he about to hit with. You could get in touch with God, align your soul and your spirit with your dreams and your passion, and then it's all going to come together. But you got to include AI too. You got to be including innovation too. Or
have to.
you can stick around, do it the way your parents did. You don't got to make no changes. Listen to your dumbass teachers, excuse my language. Listen to your dumbass counselors. Listen to your parents if they're kind of need a little help. If you choose to, they're going to set you up to get one of these jobs that are not there anymore, right? Because even a community college, no one, my biggest challenge as someone who cares about their students and their future is they don't listen. They have individual choices to make that they can make, right? So kids don't want to make no choices. They really actually want you to tell them what to do, right? But I can't tell them what to do. I can tell them this is probably the better decision. You can run it through your research and things like that. But the moment they're done talking to their counselor, they got to go back to their parents. They got to go back to their friends that are all not thinking like that. They ain't hearing this. They're not digesting the same content that you're digesting after you speak with me, or you speak with a professional about, your future, or someone about, hey, how AI is going to change jobs, right? So if your mother and your father ain't hearing that, your friend circle ain't hearing that, but you're a follower and you just want to follow behind them, you're just going to be lost. So my message to the people listening, if you're a student, you need to do what you feel is right inside of you. You can't listen to no one. You got to listen to you and then go for it. That's really where the answer is, because the answer inside of you ain't going to be, I'm going to do it the way my parents did it, and I'm going to go get me a job as whatever, whatever. If it ain't AI appropriate or taught, I think you could teach AI yourself through the Coursera platform or through edX's platform or through whatever other platform, or just getting some networking groups, right? And find out what people are working. And that's
Yeah.
like really what I'm gonna ask Troy. What you working on,
Yeah,
Troy?
say, what you got, Troy? What you got?
What you
I'm
got?
just work. I'm right now. I'm just listening to you guys. I'm getting educated on education. Um, we all have a cross section of interests and talents and knowledge, but when it comes to the education space, you two definitely flourish higher than me on that. Because me, I was one of those, Derek. I was one of those parents that you talk about. Um,
What you
I
mean?
I never had no desire for private school or anything like that. I thought the public school was just good enough because I went to public school. My parents went to public school, right? But uh, and don't get me wrong, public school works. We know it, depending
It
on the
works.
area you in, the state, and the teachers, like you said. So I don't want to,
Well-funded public schools.
yeah,
Well-funded public schools work
mhm.
really well.
Yeah. So,
They-
but through the grace of God, my kids turned out tremendously through public school. So I'm a public school success story parent, So so I'm right now I'm just listening to you guys and getting educated. So you never know who we might meet or we might talk to and who we can help. And if I can help people from this conversation, I'm definitely going to do so. And that's what I'm doing with my granddaughter. My oldest granddaughter just turned 5 last week. And as I mentioned, I'm not sure if that part will be filtered out of this conversation, but she's accepted the Greater Hearts Christian school. So, when when I was my son's age, I marched them right to school up the street. They could walk. There you go. Hopefully dinner be on the table when you get home, right? So, but now I believe it's very important that each generation up level, right? Every parent should aspire for their kid to be better than them, right? That's the goal. That's how we get to what we're going to get, right? And I talked to one of my buddies, and this is ringing in my mind. And his son was doing something, and he was like, "I ain't gonna never let him make more money than me." And I'm like,
He
"What?" And
said
I'm in
what?
my head, I'm never,
He
oh,
said
he ain't
what?
make. I ain't never gonna let him make more money than me. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna make more money than him. Like, so this is the level of ignorance you know that's pervasive in our country. So I think it's very, very important that the lesson I'm learning is that each generation has to level up. My dad he's a Vietnam War hero. He was poor, 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 right? My mom grew up in North Carolina, right? Poor. Moved to Baltimore. Her mom got a job, work, next level, right? Now she got a job. My pops, they got a job. They raised me and my sister. Sister um, went to college. I went to the Marine Corps, right? Sister went to Temple, right? Now her son is going to college. My sister went to Temple, right? Now my oldest son, he went to Temple. Now he's working a six-figure job, right? I'm an entrepreneur. Now we're building up. We have a Sneed Legacy Fund, and everybody puts 1% from their check into the family fund. What are we doing? We're doing what the Rockefellers did. If you don't know that book, what would the Rockefellers do? Get it. Trust, whole life insurance, building wealth, right? So every generation takes a step up. And to bring it all together, I believe education is huge because you don't know what you don't know.
And I just
So
want
you
to
you
thanks for that.
started off by talking, Troy. Yeah, I was gonna
Say
say I
again?
just want to go here because Troy had since he got the mic. since you got the mic, Troy, you were saying you had something you want to ask us, though. I don't want you to forget that you started off the day like that.
Oh, I want to ask you what you working on. Derek just told us what
Oh,
he was working on.
I thought you
Derek,
had something else you was bringing. Okay, my bad.
Derek
Well,
told us what he's working
hold
on
on, real
with his
quick.
daughter.
Hold on, real. I just wanna touch on some of the points Troy said real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to be clear. Well-funded public schools are amazing, right? And also you can find some gems like hidden all over the country, right? There's schools in Florida where they have magnet schools, right? Where they got future doctors in one school, but in that same school they got a jail. They lock the kids up. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's and they just keep them kids, the gifted kids, separate from the other kids, right? So there's great schools, right? But once you know what I know, and it's like you're really the next generation is about helping our kids, well, really find their passion in things, right? But helping them build their network. When you go to college, it's really who's going to be. Look at us three gentlemen. When our kids get to this age, who's going to be their network of friends? Or is it going to be like senators and governors and Supreme Court justices? Right? I can get them on track to school that way, right? Where they're going to be on, like, because it's almost written where those people are coming from. All you got to do is really dig. So, what I want parents to do, don't pick the school at the corner because they put a new building up and it looked nice. You got to really do your homework, learn about the curriculum, learn about the learning outcomes, learning about what the average SAT score is for that school, learning the whole bunch of different things. And then remember, your kids come from you. So they're going to be great because that's what, if you're great, right? The apple don't fall too far from the tree is what fruit your tree produces, right? So just to your point, Troy, just know um, I'm glad that you have that mindset, and your grandkids and your future great grandchildren are going to benefit from just you having that knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what's up.
Chris, Christian,
Yes, sir.
what you working on?
Man. Um, really working on curriculum. Let's keep it school wise to help my customers, right? Really honing in on my avatar and creating a robust program that's quick to implement, right, and have value. And that's really what I dove into heavy this week, um, really heavy. And tell you what I enjoy about diving into it and getting into it deep is it creates spark and new thought for me, right? And that's kind of stimulus. How you guys know how I am. I'm a stimulus guy, right? And so and once I get kicked on something, then I'm gonna drive to finish it, right? So that means I go in hyperdrive to get it done, right? And so, really drive it in on my funnel. I really have a robust program now for when you come to me, you know exactly if you're my customer or not. You know what I mean? And Derek, we talk about that a lot. I always say everybody's not your customer. That's so true. That's so true, right? And so I had to have my mechanisms speak to that. So you're gonna know if you're
Mm-hmm.
my customer or not without even having to speak to me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but the program is pretty dope. I'm really working on some stacking some offers with some other people, which is cool. Um, had some really good meetings the last 2 weeks with some people. You know what I mean? But it's just it's really cool. Book sales are going up, which is really amazing. Um, the blog just and again that's based off the blogs, and it's funny, everything you guys were talking about earlier, I'm thinking about a blog I wrote. Derek was talking about, I wrote a blog that had said promotions aren't earned, they're decided. You know what I mean? And so that
Mm-hmm.
whole concept is so
Wow,
real.
wow,
It's
that's
so real.
crazy.
You
What,
know,
what say that again? What was it called? What is it called?
promotions promotions aren't earned, they're decided. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and part of it is they might be earned, right? But they're decided when it's all said and done. You know what I mean? So, Corporations have a lot of times they're top 10. You know, young, you know, when new talent comes in, when new hires come in the building, right? Whoever's call it middle management, say, oh, this person, yeah, let's put this person. So that's how these people get learned, how they know, like, okay, they're being talked about at the level above the level that they report into. You know what I mean? And so that's how you see those people get moved on, right? There might not be anything great about you, but you can resonate with the people who are on that on the who are responsible for tagging the next top 10, right? And so then you
Right.
see that's why you see those people get passed on. That's why I always say I was counseling a young man last week. I told him before, it's like, listen, man, nobody, no, don't be afraid to speak to somebody who's two levels up from you or three, right? They may not, they're not necessarily smarter than you. What they have is access to information that you don't have,
Mhm.
right? The difference is always, okay, the determining factor is if I gave you that same information, what would you do with it,
Mhm.
right? How could you
That's good.
process it, right? And how
That's
could you
good. That's good.
utilize it to build value, right? And so, and again, that's what my whole coaching program is all about, you know, stemming off this book that I wrote. You know what I mean? So it's me developing me at the same time. That's the beautiful part, Troy. I think you and I talked about this the other day, or I talked to somebody else about it this morning. It's like, you know, the more I get engaged, the longer I've been engaged in my own thing that I have, I've gotten better from it. Right.
Hmm.
You know, I can actually, I was telling somebody, I can look up the things that I wrote in my book, and the framework will never change, but my level of implementation and understanding how to utilize it continues to grow.
Yes, that's good, Christian.
Right. And so
Hmm.
that's the fun part for me. You know, and again, the challenge has been, okay, great. The book is doing well. How can I position myself for the next phase of value that I'm trying to help people with through the thing that I came up with? That's why, you got Troy, especially you inspire me from the coaching program side of the house, right? Because that's what that you got into that long before any of us did. You know what I mean? And so how can I use it to give it to people? And I really learned again through conversation with you and Deke and with myself, right? Listen to things I say. Everybody's not your customer. Who's your customer then? It's funny. I was at Cups this morning, and it was open
Hmm.
mic day. It was open mic day. Never experienced it there. And it's about,
Where
yo,
we're
anybody
at
can come up. Let's
and
talk
we're at Cups.
at,
You said
at,
Cups?
at the cup. Yeah, the Cups. You know, when I go to 1 million Cups every Wednesday, right?
Okay. Yep.
So today was open mic, and people were talking. It comes down to the same thing for everybody. It's always about conversion, right? It's all about conversion. That's the that's the problem statement everybody has, right? How do I convert? You know, and to me, that's journey, right? What's the journey? First off, identify. Theme was too that I saw was through a couple people. Everybody's their customer, and we
Mhm.
know, if you do it for everybody, that means you do it for nobody,
Mhm.
right? Because no, if you do it for everybody, nobody's coming, and that's where the problems are, right? So that which is an extension of conversion. You know what I mean? So identifying who it is has really been helpful for me. Had a conversation with somebody. Tell you how I came about it. Just had a conversation with somebody who I've been working with, and then I looked at the profile of the people that have been buying the book. I'm like, that's who I help. Small business, small businesses up to 5 mil, and then mid to senior level professionals, right?
Mhm.
That's the language I speak, right? And to
Got you.
really meet people where they are, let it resonate, and show them how they can apply this framework that worked for me, and then I'm using it to work for others, in
Mhm.
whether they're small business or professionals, because that's the world that I live in, right? So yeah,
Yes,
that's what I've been on. You know what I mean? And
that's something I learned
just
too,
really diving into
Christian.
it, though.
Sorry, sorry,
Oh,
I
you
thought you
go,
were
you
done.
go.
Is that most successful? Maybe I don't know the exact numbers on this. I'm not sure if this is something you can really quantify. But most successful businesses um are based on your own personal experience, right? Because if you've gained some modicum of success in any field and you're able to articulate how you did it, then in itself is a marketable product or
That's
marketable
right.
service. And it seems to me like that's what you've done, that's what I've done. And looks like that's what Derek's done. So your experience, anyone out here listening, your experience has value. and we talk about a lot on this channel about being one chapter ahead. There's someone out there looking to do what you've done or what you're growing into,
I want to
and
stay there with.
helping
Oh, I'm
them
sorry. Go
do
ahead.
that. No, I'm almost done. Helping them do that is marketable.
I was just gonna stay there with you because a lot of fear is for people who are just getting started. Well, I've never helped anybody do it yet, right? And I always say you're missing the point. You already have proof of concept. That's you.
Hmm.
So yes, you have done it already, right? You are the proof of concept. It's about capturing
Hmm.
that and package it up.
Hmm. And that's what I've done. I'm sure that's what you have done too.
Yeah.
So
That was the
yeah,
hard part. That was a sticking point for me. Like then I
yeah.
was like, well, wait a minute. Nah, I'm the proof. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's like,
Right.
we always talk about people resonate with what resonates with them. Two people can say the same thing, but only one person's going to get through to that person, right? And that's the importance of variety, right? And that's what's beautiful about this conversation, And then it's a matter of anybody at any stage in life, somebody else has been there, right, and has experienced it. So how does it? Hey, bitch, how do you connect? The trick is connecting with that person, connecting with their story and their journey, and then applying it for you. It's just like even if you go to start a business. I was talking to somebody again this morning. You got to cheat too. I think I was talking to somebody yesterday. You got to cheat too, man. Like if I'm in a space, if somebody's working in a space that either you might be interested in or that you're already in, and you trying to get, or no, some of you trying to get started in, bro, don't reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? They already had the wheel. They've showed you how to drive around the block, right? Trade it
Right.
in for a new
Right.
one. You know what I mean? Start
Mhm.
there. It's already been proven. Find out what they did along the way, but start right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't start trying to, start at the new whip. We'll be talking about.
Mhm.
Sorry, I got a little excited.
And
Sorry about that.
no, that's
Nah,
good.
that's good.
This is
Good
just proof.
input, man.
This is just proof of what exactly what I teach, and my main framework is. A lot of people in my industry, dialysis, struggle with energy and fatigue. And my main message is, when you're doing what God called you to do, that's going to give you energy. And just like you, Christian, you're doing and talking about what God called you to do and talk about, and you get fired up. And that's proof right there that when you're doing what God called you to do, He'll give you the energy. When I'm doing my lives, and my lives, I'm learning similar to your blogs. Like this is the way we get our message out. You do blog, I do live, but these are the way God gives them to us, and those are the way we get them out. And I know sometimes when I'm doing my live trainings, I have to, I have to consciously calm and talk slow. Because if you let me go, I'll be fired up. Like when Derek starts talking about college and students, you can see the fire coming off his brain. So that's proof positive that you're doing what God called you to do, and that's how you get energy.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep you. Sorry, Derek. Hang on, I gotta tell him. We see Troy twice on Wednesdays. Here on Word is Bond, and then in his lives. It's two different Troys. It's
It's two
two
different
different
ones.
Troys.
Yes, if
Troy on
you
his
say I
Right.
don't
live, I
see
was
it,
telling him,
but
he's like,
I take it. I receive it, but I don't see it. But I
Troy,
receive it.
he'd be like,
He'll be
oh yeah, oh
ready.
no, it's,
Yeah.
it's two different Troys on this
Oh,
joint.
ready? Oh, nice. Nice. I'm gonna check you out, Troy. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. This has been a great conversation, fellas. This has been a great conversation. We hope and pray that someone watching and listening, got some gold. They take one nugget, our job is done, right?
Hmm.
No
Hmm.
doubt. One of these days, we're gonna wake up and see 2,000 people a minute logged in to watch these episodes. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And because that's the other part of this thing, Troy and Derek, right? We just decided to start. So we're already ahead of the game of people who are afraid to start.
Mm.
Just start.
Bars,
Just
Just
bars,
start.
start. You know what I mean?
bars. God can't steer a parked car. You trying to go somewhere, right? How you gonna go there if you don't move? God's like, I'm
Yo,
waiting for you.
I
You
had somebody in my group told us, he was like, yo, you can't receive blessings with your fist balled up.
know? There you go.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
yeah, that's
crying.
good.
Hmm.
But
Yep,
open your
yep, yep.
hand up.
That's what's up, fellas.
Nah, good
This
stuff.
has been good. I'll let y'all get back to the rest of y'all day. I know I got some stuff to do.
No doubt.
Um,
You gotta get right. Derek, I'm gonna holler at
yeah.
you. Troy, I'm gonna holler at you.
All right,
All
fellas. Any
right, see
guys?
you, brothers, man. All right, get some money. Let's go.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Later.